Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Players only in Jersey City. Are the A's moving? Is Madbum on your favorite team? Tatis is back. Scherzer's sticky. Big boy up. It's a big boy up. Oh. Daddy's home. What? Woo! We've got coffee machine coffee pumping through our veins. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, presented to you by SeatGeek. Code Talkin'. Go to a game. There's rumors flying around that a lot of people might end up at tonight's Yanks-Jays game. We'll see if that happens. For you, why don't you join us? Or go wherever ball is being played or any of the other 70,000 events that SeatGeek hosts every day.
Some of you like concerts.
70,000?
Those are there.
Maybe we start doing some live shows in there on there. Code Talkin', $20 off your first purchase. Download the app. It's so easy to use. I use it. Promo code Talkin'. Check out the link. SeatGeek, the geeks of seats. Trevor Plouffe, live, in person.
At my house. This is where I sleep.
This is
where I sleep. At the warehouse. Beavers, I'm having a pretty decent hair day, and I showered early this morning, got here early. Can you just, get me there we go.
Okay.
Oh, you needed that one.
Beebs, you don't need to get my hair in the shot. I'm good.
I'm so happy to be here in person. I love recording the episodes with you guys. It just makes it so much more fun for me. I'm not by myself in Magnum Condom Studio,
Right.
which, sometimes is nice, but I want to give a cheers. Can we do that?
Hey, we can touch.
That.
We can
Okay.
touch.
We got a lot to talk about today.
How are you feeling? I'm a little low energy. Where
right.
if you don't know, I'm host. We're host. We're hosting a ball and play cricket type blitzball tournament this weekend. Came back orientation last night. Talking Yanks. Come back to the hotel lobby. The cricket mates are yucking it up down there.
I already see one dude down on the warehouse floor.
They're into it. It's gonna be Sam. Our Sam phrased it best, and she said, "I think we're gonna have a bunch of Peter Moylans running around." So it might get scary. It might get scary.
I just had that image in my head, literally
They're all
several
big.
Peter Moylans running around.
They're all a little crazy. Trev,
sweaty, I feel like. I don't know.
we have a ton of big topics.
Yes.
And we've talked to the people about talking baseball, and we've been listening. And thank you guys. Keep chiming in and helping out because we want to keep this the best baseball show in the world. Keep this the best baseball show.
Just relax. We don't need to say that anymore.
I'm running hot.
We don't need to say that anymore.
There's so many big topics this week that your team, you might not get a lot of them. Just being honest with you. But actually, a lot of teams are going to be talked about because there's 5 massive topics. And maybe some awards at the end sneaking in. So,
Spoiler alert awards.
whoa.
If you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick,
Yeah.
I want to turn it off when you get to my award, okay?
We will label the spot.
And if you haven't seen Top Gun Maverick, what are you doing?
Dude,
What are you doing?
it's a great point. Sorry, BBD.
It's fine. I agree.
You'll
What
like
am I
it.
doing?
I'll tell you
Screen it
what, when
tonight.
you get there, you'll like it. I haven't watched the John Wick movies. Do you want to start boogieing?
I would love for you to boogie right in front of me.
Maybe we'll do this too. I think we start with National League
Oh,
Baseball because
baby.
there are so many National League stories.
Let's do it.
Trev, your guy, Scherzer. Did you hear about this one?
I did. I have a lot of thoughts.
Okay.
I'm curious about your thoughts on it.
Yeah, let me.
Let's boogie.
You want it up on the big screen?
No, I don't need that. I
Are
don't
you
need
sure?
the big
Because I have it
screen.
right.
I
here.
just need to get to the top of the National League. Mets, Dodgers,
Arizona
played.
Diamondbacks versus St. Louis Cardinals. The first.
That's right, the best series. The
Jack
two
Flaherty pitched in it.
future NLCS matchup. All right,
What's
I'm
up,
there.
Jay Flair?
Let's boogie. Oh, in the National League, like Trevor said, the St. Louis Cardinals took on the Arizona Diamondbacks.
What's going on right now?
That was hilarious. I had my speak to talk on, and it was writing every word in our document. I just turned it off. D-backs, take 2 out of 3. Trev, start thinking about talking
It's the
about them
Snakes.
because the kids are playing for rings in the desert. Merrill Kelly, by the way, he can pitch a little bit. The only game my D-backs lost, they told that starting pitcher, "You're gone, Pop." Madbum, cut by the Snakes. They still got to pay him a chunk of money. Cardinals take that last game. But D-backs fans, Dre Jameson gets the start, not his best performance. These guys can hit. Christian Walker, Evan Longoria,
Yes.
Trev. Hot hitters.
Yes.
The San Francisco Giants went to Miami. Welcome to Miami. And the Marlins took 2 out of 3. Trev, I've been spiritually writing off the Marlins of this lost franchise. Above 500. We're having some good times. They took the first 2 games. Giants salvage it on the last game in 11 innings. Logan Webb and his new extension. He has a nice outing, but it's not enough. The Marlins take that game and good fortitude, Trev, in that second game to win 4-2. Skip Schumacher. The boys are bopping in Miami a little bit, sure.
Hey, didn't John Jay tell us that?
John Jay tried to let us know. Pipe, our guys. Trev, the Dodgers and the Mets. I think you said this is an NLCS preview. And the Mets, they go into town and they take 2 out of 3. How about, we're going to talk about this a lot. Scherzer ejected in the last game. I don't know if you saw this. Rosin, or was it? He swears on his life.
Not his life.
There's 4 of them. That's a lot.
Shout out to Matthew Stafford's friend, Clayton Kershaw.
Clayton Kershaw, man.
Scotty Scheffler's fan.
There was a lot of good tweets about age with Clayton Kershaw and Madbum, and it's like, hey, you know, just because you lose your fastball, you can still pitch. Dodgers, we get nervous at all? I don't think so. James Outman starting that Rookie of the Year campaign in a big way. But the Mets win. Brandon Nimmo, big game. The Colorado Rockies get swept by the Pittsburgh Pirates. I said some teams won't get discussed a lot. You might get some good Pirates talk in this. Because they put up two touchdown games. 14 in the first, 14 in the second.
This touchdown?
Kutch has the boys popping. You got it. I'm a cricket guy now. And you know your guy, Johan Oviedo.
I do.
With the nice pitching performance.
Filthy.
Jack Sawinski can't stop homering. Rodolfo Castro goes yard in a big boy way. The Pirates are winning games, winning series. Imagine having bought some stock in them. The Braves take 2 out of 3 versus the Padres. Braves, Padres, Mets, Dodgers. Couple big boys series in the NL. The Braves take 2 out of 3 because Trev, they can pitch.
They can pitch.
Padres only scored 2 runs in the 3 games. Luckily, that 1 run in the final game was enough. Nick Martinez, drop it on the table. Juan Soto. But bravos, Max Fried comes back. 5 shutty. Spencer Strider locks them down. Hey, and guess what? San Diego, you care a little bit, but the bad man is back. Fernando Tatis Jr. came back last night. And Trev, that's what happened in the National League for now.
I love watching you do this in person.
I don't get internally scared a lot.
Okay.
When the talk to text was going in the sheet, I was actually scared because I was like, if I don't know how to turn this off,
And you're just going to be chasing
we were in a
them,
certain level of hell.
It was kind of cool. It's like one of those Instagram reels where it has like the closed captioning. And I was like, this is happening in real time.
It's one of A-Rod's business quotes.
This in real life.
People wonder, what do you do for a job, A-Rod?
We stop with the A-Rod stuff this early.
Joe's
Yeah, we know what he used to do for a job, all right?
The National League. The Atlanta Braves, how's your hot start? 14-5. The Mets are 13-7. The Marlins 10-9. The Phillies 8-12. Nats are 5-13. The Milwaukee Brewers and the Pittsburgh Pirates are atop your NL Central with the Cubs 11-7. St. Louis 8-11. Cardinals
negative run differential.
The Reds 7-12. The D-backs still on top of that NL West, 11-9. Dodgers are 10-10. San Diego is 10-11. The Giants are 6-12. Man, there was a lot of tough Giants conversations going on the internet this week, and the Rockies are 6-14. So, Trevor, I think we got to go for the biggest itch to scratch. I think it starts with Scherzer. He's if you have no idea, he's getting checked coming off the mound. Phil Cuzzy, the umpire involved, is the only umpire to eject, I think, all 3 pitchers that have been kicked out of a game live for sticky stuff.
Is that true? I keep seeing that. Like, it seems to me like that can't be true because it's so ridiculous.
I certainly don't remember any other ones.
Check out the breakdown by our guy, the John Boy. Yeah. And Trev, this hits on a bunch of different levels. Max Scherzer is like an inner ring Hall of Famer, like inner circle. Like if you're making a starting 5 of, all-time pitchers, he's got a real good argument.
Whoa. I guess I never really thought about that.
Trev, that's
top 5 all-time?
He's got 3 size and an MVP.
The thing with pitchers, though, I feel like
Let's not turn this on pitchers.
No, I'm not gonna insult them.
Right.
Not yet, at least. The generations are so different with the numbers.
Right.
Like, Bert Blyleven throwing 350 innings a year, like that doesn't happen anymore.
That's true.
But you look at that and you're like, well, obviously that's much more impressive than what these guys do now.
Right.
But the game is so different. So I feel like it's always hard for me to stack up pitchers against each other, especially when you're going like different eras.
I guess
3 size has a ring. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 top 5 Cy Young finishes.
I don't even know. Like, if you ask me who are the top 5 pitchers of all time, I'd be like, I don't know. My brain would give me a bunch of people. I would say like Pedro Martinez.
There's 20 guys on that top 5 list.
I think Pedro's in there. Randy Johnson, Greg
Sandy
Maddox, Koufax, like Bob Gibson, like that. You're right, and BBD said what I now say with pitchers, like it's your flavor of ice cream. Like, who do you want? Because you can find it. I mean, like, does a Roy Halladay? I guess having 3 Cy Youngs puts you in pretty rare air. That's Maddox.
Oh yeah, obviously. Okay, man.
Yeah.
Shoot.
So either way, Scherzer, he makes quite a scene about it. Because this, in a way, is something that can stick with you. Stick, a little irony. Trevor,
what do you got? Difficulty right now because I want to look at you,
right?
But then here's the camera.
And your hair looks good.
My hair looks good.
I look pale.
This is an interesting situation for me because Scherzer, as we're a labor pod here. We have been in the past, at least. He is one of, MLBPA's top dogs. And, when all this stuff was going on, he's been pretty vocal about, these issues. And then now we have our guy who I think has one of the cleanest images in baseball. Like, he's got a little bit of, that dog in him and he's a little scary, but like his overall image is pretty squeaky clean. Like, he's done it the right way. And this, in my opinion, unfairly puts like, a little bit of villain into him. Like, he's suspended for 10 games. He's not appealing this. When people go back and look, they're going to see that Max Scherzer once got suspended for 10 games for putting sticky stuff on his hand. And then now, like, that sticks with you. And I can't believe I just did that same pun.
Yeah, I guess we didn't think about that.
I didn't mean to do that.
I didn't either, man. It's just
But okay, so
it's a word that works.
I've given this take before, but I think it bears repeating. Hitters don't care about rosin. We don't care if the guy's hand is sticky. What we care about, and I think what most people care about, is if it's performance enhancing. Right. If the spin is increasing and making your pitches do something that they shouldn't be able to do. I don't think that's the case here. And I know there's been some talk about excessive rosin on his hands, and these umpires have this training, which
would love to see that.
Golly, I kind of want to get the informational package on that and then us do it.
When Dale Scott was out, me and him did some test trials of
it's unbelievable
where you can hide sticky stuff. Went well.
So I think that's kind of where I land here is I don't think he was doing anything performance enhancing. Now, by the letter of the law, Was it excessive enough for Phil Cuzzy to throw him out? Apparently it was.
How do you label excessive?
That's where I'm at. I think he's being unfairly suspended and labeled now as, some people are going to label him as a cheater. And I don't like that, dude, because I'm against pitchers.
Right. You hate cheating, too.
I hate cheating, and I hate starting pitchers for the most part.
Right. Well,
this is me defending Max Scherzer big time. I think it's bullshit that he's suspended. If there's no data to back up that he was using something to enhance his performance, then he didn't do anything wrong.
Trev, I guess that's...
You're giving him a substance on the fucking field,
right?
And then you're saying, don't use it.
There's something here that's so disappointing. Like, it's 2023. A, the word excessive, it's like, what does that mean? Because, again, that's not a unit of measurement. And then B, if it is rosin and sweat, which Max Scherzer is very much on the record being like, you can get that. Before this, he was like, you can get that stuff so sticky. Like, this is all you need. And that's what he was so adamant and passionate about. So as we've talked about, one, when it came to the balls, we wondered if they should, like, regulate them and they have a certain amount of tact on them that you get to use or something like that. Rosin, which has been around the game forever, now we've had controversy because we've had guys using the rosin bag in their dugout, which not against the rules, instead of the rosin bag.
I don't like that. I don't like that.
It feels a little weird, right? Like it's almost, why do we have to do that? Like, if the pitcher wants some rosin, hey, do it within the rules of the pitch clock. Like, if you're really worried about the speed.
Dude, getting rosin takes less than a second.
Let's
not give pitchers that excuse, okay? Much as I'm trying to be on their side right now.
I guess the part that I come back to, and again, sometimes I'm not the most logical cat, but like, how are we not? This training they got, rosin training. Go find rosin on a pitcher. If you think a pitcher's cheating and they have a substance on their hand, how can we not, like, take a little bit, put it in a little vial, and guess what? If it comes back and it's rosin, sunscreen.
When are we doing that? During the game?
Dude, we're kicking out an inner circle Hall of Famer from a game that you just said, Trev. This is going to be labeled with him forever. It'll be a throwaway line for some people when we're talking about it, and hopefully if you're a big baseball fan, you tell the whole story. But if I'm Max Scherzer, would you rather be...
You're pissed.
Would you rather be ejected and thinking probably some of the same thoughts we're thinking, or would you rather have them take a little sample off your hand and then... It's in God's hands, right? Because if you're being honest and it comes back and we found out it's just rosin and sunscreen, we'd say, figure out the fucking rules. Because that's clearly the problem. Because I don't want to label one of the best pitchers ever a cheater if he's not. Because that's a nasty word in this game.
It's really bad. I don't know. I mean, look, I think that's where we end up getting this, like, over sticky situation. Is when you do have sunscreen on and you do sweat and you do have the rosin. Those three things combined get very sticky. But again, from the research that we've done and people through baseball have done, that hasn't shown a significant increase in spin.
Right, getting better.
It has not. So in my mind, that is what we need to do because you can do that in real time. I love your science experiment kit. I love it. In fact, you maybe should do that in the office with your fucking goggles that you have, okay? But when we have TrackMan and whatever these stadiums have there now with the data, like, if we can see a jump like that, then that's when we get mad.
Right.
Because I've put sunscreen on because I'm trying to prevent skin cancer.
Sure.
Because we play a lot of
It's
games
a game
outside,
That's
right?
smart.
You can't stop people from wearing sunscreen. You just can't, okay? Rosin's out there. It's a legal substance, and guess what? You're going to sweat.
Yeah.
And when you do that, I mean, it is very sticky to the point where, like, it's tough even with regular soap to get it off. Sometimes you got to use this tape remover, like, to get, like, so it's going to be sticky. And for a guy like Phil Cuzzy, who, like, you trained, but, like, you don't really know what the fuck you're doing, that could lend itself to being very suspicious.
Well, dude,
the sunscreen, the rosin, and the sweat. But again, we don't care if the pitchers have tack as long as it's not performance-enhancing tack.
And Trev, it's where does the story go over time that with baseball people, We'll laugh in 20 years.
I'd be so fucking pissed if I was Max Scherzer.
We'll laugh and we'll say, yeah, remember, only Phil Cuzzy gave him out. And it was absolutely just too much rosin. And Max Scherzer has this squeaky clean resume. I do want to say this, and I have probably too much devil's advocate in me, and I think this will start to segue us to our next topic. Max Scherzer, squeaky clean, 38-year-old white guy, legend of the game. And we think we have the full story, right? We think it's just rosin and sweat. We believe his word. When a young guy like Fernando Tatis Jr. uses the ringworm stuff and he says it's an accident, we instantly say, like, you're fucking lying. Like, you're a kid. And I don't know. Like, we've done that conversation a lot, and you have wherever you already stand on that topic. Some of you are excited to go to a game and yell cheater at Fernando Tatis. Some of you are like, oh, yeah, he was a young, dumb kid, and he either made a mistake or he lied about making a mistake.
Just before we fully segue to the Tatis thing, I think people I was surprised to hear he was dropping the appeal Scherzer. So, and I feel like comments
that changes your opinion.
I feel like people will want the full context, and that's what the comments will be about here. He said that he's dropping it because he thought it was going to be heard by a neutral arbiter, it's not. It's being heard by an assistant to the commissioner. So, that's what he says is the reason for the drop. Just more context.
I think they've talked about it internally, and there was a memo apparently sent out in spring training talking about there could be fines and suspensions for excessive use of rosin. What the fuck is excessive use? Is it three? What is this called?
Can be whatever you want.
You get the rosin bag here. 3 is too many. It's like that. This is a Key and Peele.
3 things of it.
Key and Peele sketch where he does 1 hump. That's okay. 2 humps is borderline, but 3 humps is out. We're doing the same thing with rosin here. If I was Max Scherzer, guess what? I'd drop it too. What's the point? You're going up against MLB's officials, and they're going to, say, look, there was an excessive amount of rosin, and that's what we let the umpires determine it. What else are they going to say? They didn't do the science experiment on him, so they can't go to there. And he just wants to get this thing over with. I think it's a lose-lose situation for Max Scherzer.
You want my conspiracy theory of conspiracy theories?
You fucking know it.
I'm not normally this guy, right? But who was one of the biggest people leading the players' union?
Yeah. Well, yes. You think? No, I'm not going there.
I'm not
going there. I was about to say it, but I'm not going to say it.
If you can put together the clues.
You're implying.
There's one umpire that's done it.
Wow.
And then Max Scherzer has to come up against, who's the lawyer? The MLB commissioner's assistant? I don't know, man. Hey, if you want to daydream about some conspiracy stuff there, you can. I'm not saying that's what happened.
I want to go back to your Tatis thing.
Okay. Why don't you segue us into it? Because I think we're heading there.
Are we going to go straight into Tatis?
Do you have any other Scherzer? Like, what else are we missing from the Scherzer topic, I guess?
He's suspended for 10 fucking games, dude.
Yeah.
And they already are low on pitching. Cookie's out. Verlander's not back yet. Somebody else just went out, too.
Hey, I don't know, man. The whole
Quintana's out.
If
we're running low on pitchers.
If we're being honest,
Tommy Hunter's back though.
He's always back.
He's back.
Where's is Cole Hamels around? Where's his agent? Yeah, man. The whole thing. It's crazy that everyone's kind of leaning Scherzer, and at the same time, it's not crazy at all because it kind of makes sense. So we will see. So where do you want to go with Nando?
He's back.
He's back. He's back.
We have speaking of he's back.
He's risen.
Jimmy O'Brien just gave us the
John Boy
McDonald's drive-through window.
He's still doing it.
Yeah,
by the way, I think Cole Hamels is on a minor league deal with the Padres.
Is Cole Hamels pitching in the minor leagues right now?
I don't know if he's pitching in the minor leagues. His Wikipedia says February 16th, 2023,
he signed
a minor league deal with the Padres.
I love that for him.
If he's thrown a minor league
He's from
game,
San Diego.
we need to celebrate Cole Hamels.
He's like, you guys are going to play in my city. I'm going to tax you $1 million for a bullpen.
Let's go to his teammate, Fernando Tatis, who
makes his triumphant debut. I guess we could talk about it. 0-for-5.
I don't see any
after a massive. Do you even call that a minor league rehab stint? It's not a rehab stint. after playing in some minor league games. He hit 7 homers in 8 games, which is ridiculous. The show's different, though.
Show's different.
I don't really want to talk about results because he's going to be fine. I think he's electric, dude.
Back in the leadoff spot, pretty cool.
I don't really know where to go. I wanted to kind of talk about your Scherzer thing and do we believe Tatis? I'm like on the side of I do believe that he just fucked up. I don't know why I believe that. That's just my gut instinct. But you're right, dude. We believe Scherzer, but we're kind of like, ringworm thing's a little weird. That's something I need to digest a little before I get into it. I think that's a freaking massive topic.
It's heavy.
That's a deep dive. That's like heavy. A gummy talk maybe later tonight.
That's that was a 420 topic.
He got a little bit of booze. They were in Arizona last night and got some booze, but then the Padres fans kind of took over and they got some cheers. I think for a struggling Padres offense, like this is exactly what they need. And Juan Soto, I hope, is going to be a big benefactor of him going back in the lineup. Didn't happen necessarily last night for either of those guys. I think they went a combined 0 for 9. I think Soto had a walk, but I'm happy to see him back. I don't know, man. Like, you know how I feel about PED dudes and all of that. I've made my stance very clear on that. It bothers me. It bothers most guys. But I'm happy to see him back. I just think he's so freaking talented that I'm not saying I give him a pass or anything like that, but I just want to see him play ball. It's that good.
Yeah, and I think he's gonna go. I mean, there's no take there, right? It's like he
also served a suspension. This is the first he hasn't played since 2021, dude. Yeah. I didn't even register that in my mind. He didn't play at all in the big leagues last year.
It's crazy.
Like not one fucking at bat.
After seeing what he did in the minor leagues, how could you not believe that he is going to be on an FU tour that's going to be impressive? And they slot him right back on the top of the lineup. You're right with Soto. Will that be, San Diegans? They haven't even seen full Soto yet. Like, he's having a nice start to the year. Bogarts has been the one.
Juan Soto's not having a nice start to the year. Like, we got to stop sugarcoating this. Like, he's been bad with the Padres. I love Juan Soto. He has not been himself since he's been over there. And I don't really know the reason. I don't think there is really like a one glaring thing that's going on. Just the results have not been there. I mean, look at his stats from San Diego, man.
It's true.
778 OPS is like a good year for me. Okay? Juan Soto ain't me. Juan Soto's like 10 times the player I am, dude. Like before that, look at the OPSs, man.
Yeah.
923, 949, 1.1, 999. I mean, like, you can't.
I guess here's what I'll say. In those seasons, 21 and 22, where he had a 999 OPS, 853 OPS, which, again, that was the split year, and you expect more from Soto. He led the league in walks. He's doing that again. He's getting on base. He's hitting 183, which, again, that's shocking for Juan Soto. Career 283 hitter. No shift this year. And, again, it's early. You have one 4-hit day. It's still.
The guy hasn't slugged over 400 since he's been in San Diego.
That's crazy. He's still getting the walks, which is a good sign. And maybe with Tatis and Bogarts is going, and you're right. They haven't seen what we think is the proper dose of Juan Soto, and if it keeps rolling to hey, baseball's a tough sport. We know this, but if that keeps rolling to the All-Star break, people are going to be like, "What's going on?"
And last year, obviously, was better with the Nats than the Padres stats that we're referencing, but also the batting average there. I know batting average isn't everything, but it's way lower than what we ever saw from him before last year.
He's got to go, right?
He's got to go. I mean, I'm not really sure. Like I said, usually there's something that's glaring if you're having that much difficulty. If you're dropped off that much, I don't think there was an injury that's caused anything like that. His savant, I think, is the same. We're just not getting the results. I want to go back to Tatis because I think that's the whole point of this. Are you going to be a guy that once he goes off and hits homers and is fucking electric on the field he can be, are we just going to forget about all this? Is he going to get the Nelson Cruz treatment or are we going to be talking about this nonstop because it's kind of a bigger, like it wasn't just PEDs with him either. It was the silly stuff off the field, right. Getting hurt,
playing soccer
on a
after
motorcycle.
Hurt,
yeah, like so. Is it just going to be a race once he comes back and is playing well, or is this something that you think is going to follow him?
I think it's going to be hot for now, and then he'll dictate the rest. If he plays really good baseball, that'll figure it out. That's where Nelson Cruz kind of honestly landed, right? Like he's, when we talk about Nelson Cruz now, we talk about him as like one of the most respected.
Yeah, we do.
Sneeze, I'm
Bless
okay.
You.
But again, that's rude to Nelson Cruz and Tatis because Nelson Cruz has had, an amazing baseball life. So if Tatis goes on and does that, which we have expectations for him that like he can and he should, then yeah, I think you can move on from that. But yeah, if he's injury prone or if his performance were to tick down, what's everyone gonna say forever?
Oh, obviously, yeah.
So like, he's
got to earn it back.
And baseball's a really tough sport. That if you have one kind of weird injury in your career, it can change who you are as a player. That what Tatis does on the field will dictate how we talk and think about him.
Guess Nelson Cruz career home run total.
I mean, 469.
That's really close.
Yeah. But
Price is right. You're fucking out. 461.
I did the 69 to.
Is that for Beavers?
Is there anything else about Tatis? Like, I don't know. And it's good he's back. Like, he's arguably the best player in baseball. Well, Shohei, I guess, is fully.
Shohei's fully taken over that. And then there's.
It's on the short list of guys for 2 through 5.
I think San Diego's hoping he kind of, energizes things and gives them a spark. I think that's what they're hoping. We have to let it play out, I think. We got one game of him. It's hard to make, your take off of one game, especially this early in the season. What's up?
I know coming off of 420 and we're in the room together, high testosterone.
Yeah, big time.
That the Tatis Scherzer thing. One guy seems like he just got the bad ump on the bad day, and I have a conspiracy theory. I don't know. It's just so funny how what that was handled at the time, which for Tatis was as bad as you can handle it. It felt like that if it wasn't a fib or a lie, that it's you kind of turn your head.
They're such different situations.
They're very different.
They're so different. They're so different.
I guess the fact that someone like me can even try to compare them could be potentially super fucked up to Max Scherzer, who might have had a legal limit of legal substance on his hand.
Get the quote up. When there's a quote where they said Major League Baseball came out and said it was excessive and it wasn't, and they determined it was more than just sweat and rosin. Can we get that quote up? Because that's crazy.
That's a pretty important detail, right?
Max Scherzer swore on his children.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a big thing for a parent. Holy,
pretty noble guy too.
Do we have the quote? Because how do they know? First of all, without the science kit,
I didn't see no kit.
Okay, I guess we got to move on. I don't know, man. This is a very difficult situation.
Yeah. Now, how about this? If either of them go out and win the World Series this year, none of that'll matter.
I think it does. What are you talking about? I think this is like Max Scherzer's thinking about legacy, bro. Hopefully this. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about this.
We ended up in a weird spot.
We did end up in a weird spot. I'm trying to feel like compassion, but I'm also upset.
Well,
I'm processing feelings in real time for the people right now, and I think they can tell I'm a little confused as to how to feel.
I think we both are. Well, if you want to feel some more weird, kind of unique feelings, Madbum gets.
We're just gonna go straight into that too.
Dude,
what are you doing to me here?
All these NL topics are insane.
Why don't you let's boogie AL and go back to Madbum. I need a break. I need a break. My head's spinning right now.
You know what, Trev? I respect that.
Yeah, let's give the people some baseball.
Let's wash our mouths clean a little bit and find out what happened in your American League. And actually, it's this episode and this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. BetterHelp, getting to know yourself every day. It can be a lifelong process, especially because we're always growing and changing. God, we just kind of talked about that. We're going to talk about that more. If therapy is something you're thinking about getting into, BetterHelp is a great option. Convenient, flexible, affordable, entirely online. You fill out a brief questionnaire. Boom. They link you with a licensed therapist.
Yes.
Bang. And then, if you want, you can switch therapists at any time. Make sure you're talking to someone that you want to be talking to. Yeah. So go check out BetterHelp, BetterHelp.com/talkingbaseball. Get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/talkingbaseball. Let's boogie. We are starting with Chris Rose's Cleveland Guardians taking on the Detroit Tigers. Little rain out.
They gave the D, didn't they?
Double header D-Day. The Tigers, they win both of them. How's your walk-off? I lost a bet on those Tigers, and good for them. A little Kerry Carpenter walk-off. Are you kidding me? Big defensive play from Matt Vierling to hold your guard dogs.
That was nice.
You like that?
I did.
Came over from those Phillies. Is that why they're struggling? No Maton and Vierling? Cal Quantrill with a nice start on the final day to get the lads a win. Hey, Detroit, go get it, baby.
Go.
Happy for you. The Texas Rangers.
Oh, my goodness.
Sweep the Kansas City Royals. Is it getting real in Arlington? 4-0 starts off on a scary note. DeGrom comes out of the game. They say it's a wrist. He's going to make his next start. So that's good news. Nate Doggivaldi, Martin Perez. Hey, man, you start saying some of these names, and if the wins start coming in, by the way, they put up 12 spots in games 2 and 3.
That's
everyone.
Thick neck, dude.
Jonah Heim, Travis Jankowski.
Oh,
no. You might know some of the other guys, too. Trev, you might know the Yankees don't lose. They are 10-0 on potential game-losing series.
I have some losses
games.
in the column. I don't know.
I'd have to double-check that. They lose game 1 to the Halos. Clark Schmidt having a tough time. Okay. But Aaron Judge in that middle game robs Shohei and then hits a homer.
He's all right.
You know that does something to me. And then the Yankees roll him in that last game. Sandoval, a couple southpaws that are friendly with John Boy Media and Nestor. Yanks put up a big 5 spot in the first, and that's it. Yankees win another series. We're kind of starting to believe some things. Boston Red Sox, oh my God, against your Twins, Trev, and the Red Sox take 2 out of 3. Sonny Gray, Chris Sale, that puts something in my 2018 pelvic thrusts. 5-4, 10 innings.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't have that feeling.
And then double digits will win you either the next 2 games as the Twins put up 10, Sox put up 11 in that final game. Maeda gets hit with a liner. Jaron Duran, a big RBI single. Wow, I know a lot of Sox fans.
I like watching that guy play.
Punted on him. Athletic guy.
He's fast.
Can he play ball? Can he play baseball? Toronto Blue Jays, Houston Astros. Hello.
Hey.
Your ALCS preview? Astros take 2 out of 3. About time they're about to start going. They take the bread games. That deciding game, 8-1 Barrios. Garcia. Barrios did his thing, but Luis Garcia was better.
More on him later.
Uh-oh. Chris Bassett with another big start. Good. I was feeling bad. Glossman got lit up.
Matt Chapman's in New York City right now. Am I here too?
And that's what happened in the AL. That's Matt Chapman's in New York City. That's what you
Matt
guys
Chapman.
need to know. Okay.
We could talk about Matt Chapman the rest of the episode.
Trev,
American League standings.
Your American League standings.
Let me read these.
You want to read them?
I do.
Your Rays?
I got to get down there on the sheet.
The Rays are 16-3.
Tampa Bay Rays leading the AL East. Somebody said they'd have a surprising April. I think it was me. What are they, 16-3? I put this down too much. I got to get the magnification back up to read this. New York Yankees, 12-7. Baltimore Orioles, 11-7. Toronto Blue Jays, I think there's no T there. Toronto. 11-8, and Boston is 10-10. There's not one team in that AL East under 500. Wow. No. Minnesota, they're in first place. Of course they are. It's the epicenter of baseball right now. Coach Trev signs with Bally's. Thank you. Employee of the week. Cleveland at 10-9. Detroit 7-10. Chicago White Sox. What is you doing, baby? 7-12. Kansas City Royals. Not very. You know what? Olivia's watching The Crown right now.
Okay.
And if you watch that, those Royals, sometimes they're just not great people.
You think that's what's going on?
Kansas City Royals not doing well right now. I still like the Royals in Kansas City, but record not good. Texas. The Rangers leading the AL West. Everyone fucking what? 12-6. Everybody else is under 500. Houston 9-10. LA, the Angels 9-10. Seattle, what is you doing, baby? I'm not going to pronounce you dead. I'm not going to do that for you again. 8-11. And then Oakland is at 3-16 for a 158 winning percentage. Ouch.
The reverse Rays. 16-3, 3-16. Trevor, interesting spot here because we said we're going to bounce back to Madison Bumgarner, but I guess.
Let's talk about Madbum. What's wrong with that?
Let's talk about Madbum because he could land on one of these AL teams.
Madison Bumgarner, designated for assignment by the Arizona Diamondbacks, is owed $37 million around there for the rest of this year and next year, I believe. I'm going to pose a question to you.
It's a lot of money, man.
And I said this before. Like, I'll never talk shit about Madbum.
Right.
I mean, I think I probably have a little bit.
An amazing
points.
An amazing career.
What are you doing? Do you think Madbum puts on another Major League Baseball uniform again? Because he's going to pass through waivers. No one's picking him up.
Right.
To take on the contract.
No one wants that contract.
Like, he's going to become a free agent. It's going to be up to him if he wants to play. If he doesn't want to play, he's still going to collect all that money. He can go do what he likes to do back at his ranch and collect a check. So do you think he's going to pitch again?
Trev, I was about to say no. Like, if there's a guy that would be comfortable not, it would be the guy that moonlighted as Mason Saunders, the pro bull rider. And,
I think he's a roper.
Again, look into if you're one of the new kids and you only know a Arizona Madison Bumgarner,
that's tough.
Go check out some stuff. Go check out a Baseball Reference. Go check out some World Series highlights. He's 33, Trev. Madison Bumgarner is he younger? He's younger than me. Or no, I've got him. The fact that me and Madison Bumgarner are near the same age is ridiculous. Because he's been pitching on the MLB spotlight since he was 19.
You also have like a joyful, young exuberance to you, and Madbum has the opposite.
A little bit different energy. A little bit, yeah. Trev, starting pitchers can always get an opportunity. We talk about Cole Hamels regularly on this program.
Sure.
I just put it together, and I almost feel bad. I almost feel naughty that I'm like too good at this.
What's going to happen right now?
Madison Bumgarner is going to throw a few innings for your Texas Rangers and his former manager, Bruce Bochy.
Gosh. I didn't put that together. I talked about this last night with Chris Rose.
I hate that I got there.
You think Bruce Bochy is going to pick up does he even have a cell phone? Does Madbum
Bochy or Madbum?
That's what I'm saying.
0 for 2.
Like, carrier pigeon each other. Fucking wagon wheel it a note. I don't know. Something like that. You think Bruce Bochy's going to contact him and say, hey, Hoss, why don't you come over here and pitch for us Rangers? And Madbum's going to be like, okay, Hoss, I'll come pitch. No fucking chance.
You still got a couple good innings in that arm? Yep.
I did. The only spot I got to with Madbum pitching again, I think my take is no. I think he's going to take it to the house.
He could.
Like, literally ride off into the sunset on a fucking horse. The only reason I'll say he pitches again is because he's in pitching shape. And he's like, I've already, my off season, I built myself up.
That's a good point.
Like, do I just ride it out and see? Like, yeah, the Rangers are doing well. Right. Like, I want to be on a competitive team. Although he was on a competitive team.
I I think so.
I just don't see it happening, bro. I like the connection that you made there between Bochy and the Rangers and Texas and all this stuff. If it did happen,
right,
it would have to be a Roger Clemens-ish situation where he's only traveling when he pitches. The problem is the results don't warrant that.
Right.
And they haven't for some time. If this guy was still doing it and he was just like a free agent and we're like, is he going to pitch? Because that's a different situation. Right. He was designated for assignment because it was so bad. His Baseball Savant page is the opposite of awesome.
Yeah, it was funny
he's
seeing,
straight up not having a good time.
There's a lot of fan bases that have their pitching coach that they love because they're, with the technology now, they've tinkered with guys and they've had breakouts. I saw some Yankee fans being like, oh, bring Madbum in, we can fix him. Like,
I would actually like to see Madbum.
I know you would.
It would just be like, whoa. That's almost too much for me, I think.
Trev, I guess the thing in my head, which, by the way, I'm going to steal your baseball shape thing, because that's important. Like, you already got yourself ready for the grind.
Yeah.
Like, Madbum's arm is ready to go, and, some people might laugh at that. But, Trev, he also he started last year. Yep. Last year. And, by the way, the stuff is exactly the same. 7 starts last year to start the season, a 1.78 ERA. The FIP didn't line up. They thought it might change, but he still gave them 30 good innings, 7 starts to kick off a season. So when we get into the season, Trev, every week we run into a bunch more injuries. I mean, the Yankees, if they have a starter get hurt tomorrow, they don't really have anyone to go to. That I don't think Madbum will play for the Yankees. He literally had a no trade to not go to the Yankees, and I think he...
Oh, you don't think he's a city guy?
I think he's one of
There's horses in this city.
I think he genuinely would not shave his beard to play baseball. He wouldn't. But he
hasn't always had the beard. He used to be smooth-faced Madison.
Well, that's not who he is anymore, Trev. So
what's the incentive for him to pitch again? That's kind of where I'm at with this.
I don't know if he comes back and he throws... he could love baseball. Like, we make our jokes. Madison Bumgarner's played baseball his whole life. It's kind of...
I think he does love baseball if he was playing, in, a rec league or a penal league. I don't mean that he's going to be he's not a prisoner. I'm sorry. But you know what I'm talking about. Like, he loves the game. But there's more than the game at the big league level. It's a lot of business. It's a lot of
but
different things that come along with it. And I don't think he likes all that.
Trev, say it's July, August, September. And, one of the good teams has had 3 injuries to their rotation, and they just need starts. I don't know. If it's a city or place he's comfortable with, and maybe he wants to redeem himself a little bit, I don't know what he thinks he's got in the chamber. I think he would think he's got more than we think. So I don't know.
You think he still has confidence in himself?
Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you see his last start? He was yelling at Wilson Contreras.
Well, that
called him a P.
Yeah, I know. And
it's like, what?
I made a promise never to talk crap about him after 2014 in the World Series because he just put on that electric performance, and I feel like I'm repeating myself with Madbum. But that's the one thing I don't love is he got mad that Wilson Contreras made a little noise after he swung. Yeah. Like, ooh, I missed that one. Like, yeah, he missed it. He's fucking pissed. You need to get mad at me, bro. Don't throw that lollipop up there.
You think he got mad at you on May 25th, 2014? You went 0-for-3, probably weren't happy.
I didn't see the ball off him at all.
Yeah.
He's got this
long
wingspan.
Arms,
yeah, it's like doesn't register in my head.
It's like it's a little slingshotty.
It's weird.
Like it feels like the arms
turn.
go out.
Yeah.
And then the arms
come
through.
Like I just didn't see the ball against him.
It's okay.
Fucking Beavers.
Me either.
What the fuck is that about?
Me either.
I went to see if you hit the ball hard.
I don't think I did.
No, it's 2 ground outs, and it says high fly ball to left.
It was high, though.
I just missed that.
It was a major league fly ball, and for that.
So, okay, I mean, to wrap this
can't
up,
hit it that far.
I'm saying I don't think he pitches again. You're saying he's going to go to the Rays and become a dominant closer.
Yes. A multi-inning weapon for the Texas Rangers.
Gosh.
Madison Bumgarner.
That's interesting. Like a bullpen Madbum. There's no fucking way he would do that. This is what I'm talking about, dude. There's just no way.
Hey, man, him and Bruce Bochy.
Let me present.
You got outs in that arm?
Let me present the situation, and then we can move on and talk about something even more depressing.
Someone else moving on.
Madison Bumgarner can go back to his ranch.
Right.
Forever and earn $37 million over the next 2 years.
Or
he can go pitch for the Texas Rangers, possibly in the bullpen, when he's just hasn't had his stuff.
Trev, we've seen.
What do you think?
I mean, I would lean Mason Saunders, and he lives that life. But also, I've seen Jock Peterson make the city of Atlanta wear pearl necklaces to a baseball game. You're telling me the Texas Rangers and Bruce Bochy and Madbum?
James is here right now. James, he's just trying to convince me that Bruce Bochy is going to call Madison Bumgarner and say, hey, Hoss, let's run it back a little bit.
We need 4 starts. You still got a good arm?
I'm in.
That's
go! Awesome. I was reading a bunch of Rangers fans saying that Bochy has made them realize how bad their last 2 managers have been. As far as like bullpen decisions, they're like, oh my God, it feels like we got a pro. Which crazy. Is always funny when that happens.
And that, my friends, is Jimmy.
And now Madbum.
Do you know why?
Okay.
I don't want to get into managers right now, but I've been thinking about this. We bring in Dusty Baker, we bring in Buck Showalter, we bring in Bruce Bochy. The new managers that get hired right now are front office managers usually, and I don't think that necessarily works in a clubhouse. Like, how can you have a trust in your manager to have your back when you know he doesn't have your back?
You need a manager supposed to play both sides. Like, you protect your players when you need to. You represent the front office when you need to. That's the whole job.
Well.
But a lot of these guys are representing the front office.
It used to be, especially with the guys that I mentioned, it's like, no, this is my team. I am fighting for you against the front office. And that's obviously not the case anymore. You don't get hired if you have that point of view. But now we're kind of bringing these guys back. We're like, oh, these guys know how to manage. It's like, well, they're getting the most out of the players because the players are like, hey, I think this guy actually does have my back, and he's not just like,
it's like the job
trying to convince me that the front office is always right.
It's the job of a manager.
James has thoughts.
Oh.
Just get in
Trevor's
lap.
Like you're saying, I think a different way to say it, the same way that people might understand it, is Boone was hired to make the stats decisions make sense to the player, never to tell the analytics, hey, this doesn't make sense. And now you're getting managers that are, and smart teams that are like, we need some pushback too.
Yeah.
Like, we need you to push us back with feel, which I think the first wave didn't have that being asked of them at all.
Boone gets 1 veto a year. He gets one
man.
Imagine that.
I would love that power.
Would you? I think you'd fucking hate that.
Oh, hey, front office. This is the fucking lineup you sent down. Boom, you stamp it with a red stamp.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
And that's it, though? Actually, I would hate
Yankees playoff games.
Just one shot.
Burn through the IL. Talk about one more sad.
Yeah, let's do it.
The Tampa Bay Rays, they don't stop.
No.
They don't stop. They take 2 out of 3 from the Cincinnati Reds. And the Reds, they won big that first game. 8-1. Hunter Green's extended. We're feeling good. He actually left with injuries.
He got hit with the ball.
We didn't love that. But here comes Lodolo. Reds are about to win a series from the Rays. This is baseball. They put up a 10 spot, and they hit Lodolo hard. Taj Bradley, again, a bonus piece for them.
Ace.
5.1, 0 earned runs, 9 Ks after they put up an 8 spot on Lodolo. These Rays are different. They do it in the final game, too. Taylor Walls with a big game in this series. Randy Arozarena, heard of him? You sure have. Phillies take 2 out of 3 from the Chicago White Sox. Man, both of these teams got to start going. And, hey, I guess the Phillies can say that they did. Although, friend of the program, Lucas Giolito, with a big boy start.
Phillies at least have a World Series hangover they can point to. Chicago White Sox are hungover from 2020.
Just a natural hangover. Yeah. Trey Turner, with a big game in the last game. Castellanos and Harrison for Philly, getting it done in the first one. Jake Berger, you know we're going to shout out
You
a
missed,
big Jake
you
Berger
missed
game.
the stat about
Say
our
it.
guy Puddinhead. Okay. Bryson Stott of the Phillies extends his hitting streak to 17 games, surpassing who? Willie Jones. Nickname?
Puddinhead.
Puddinhead. That's pudding, but no G.
Yeah, I bet. Trev, the Cubs sweep the Athletics, and most importantly, Athletic fans don't. Probably ain't too worried about that right now. Damn. Tough. The Brewers sweep the Mariners. Brewers, you guys might have the biggest chip on your shoulder this week because I don't think we're deep diving. But, man, that's a nice series win. And you boys are off to as hot of a start as you could want in control of the Central Division. Mariners, don't make Trev say the magic words.
They've been asking me to.
Don't
they've
make
been
Trev
asking
say
me,
the
and
magic
that
words.
is not okay.
Willie
Mariners
Adames, Yelich in that middle game, you know how much I like those guys. And then the Orioles, they swept the Nats, and like that should be expected. 2 games. But the Orioles are a good team. The Nationals are a bad team. Analytics, Dean Kramer and Kyle Bradish. Pad your stats. Mateo, man. How fun is he?
I love watching him
He's
play.
good. Trev, that's what happened in the International League. It's not what they
These were some fun series. I know we're like kind of just doing topics today, but looking at these, like Brewers, Mariners, like aesthetically pleasing, but also like could be very similar in their uniform colors, depending on what uniforms the Mariners would wear. And we got some good performances there. I like that.
Nice
Christian,
road
yeah,
trip
they
for
do.
the crew in general. 7-3 on their 10-game West Coast trip. That's important.
They're doing it, and they did it against good teams. They went to San Diego.
Yeah.
And then Mariners, and then somebody else as well. But yeah, they're on it.
They're
right
feeling
now,
good.
Yeah.
Trev, a fan base that's not feeling good. And hey, Cubbies, you sweep. You're winning games. Stroman is off to the best start in the NL, basically, for starting pitchers.
Incredible. Him and Justin Steele. I mean, sneaky top 2 starters.
Righty lefty. Trev, the Oakland Athletics. Their fan base was planning a party. I
think we mentioned it before. I think it's June 13th. Rooted in Oakland's doing it. They want to fill the ballpark up. I actually really like this idea.
Well, the owners fully shat on it, basically, by saying that, hey, guys, cut the tape. We just purchased the land in Vegas. We're aiming for 2027. So, hey, pretty crazy because, Trev, a lot of this stuff gets thrown around. Salt Lake City just got mentioned the other day, and I have no idea if a team will ever end up in Salt Lake City. I kind of don't think so, but the way the headline was presented was almost like this has a chance. We've always known, ever since I've been introduced to baseball, I've heard the Oakland A's have had a chance to move.
Yeah.
And Trev, it looks like it's happening.
Yeah, and it's an ownership thing. I mean, this is something that this guy's wanted to do. His name's Fisher, right? Yeah. He's been wanting to move this team for quite some time. I don't want to say that all this was just for naught. There was stadium renderings, and I think that's all you have to do. We could just pick a city and then render a stadium in there, and boom, we're an ownership group ready to go. Yeah, we should think about that. They were doing that when I was there in 2017. This guy Dave Cavall was leading the charge. We're getting a new stadium. We love Oakland. Rooted in Oakland.
Yeah,
they had the whole freaking spiel, and I was feeling this dude because I was look, this guy wants he's energetic. We're gonna get this done. I think that's awesome. I love the Oakland fan base. I think they're some of the most passionate fans in baseball.
Yeah,
that's why I'm excited to see this if they do this reverse boycott thing.
All right.
I've said it before on the show, to see that place packed one last time. What are they going to do? Before I get into it, what are they going to do? They break ground in 2024. Where do they play? Do you stay in Oakland for 3 years with your foot out the door?
I assume so, man. I mean, we saw a couple of the football teams do, quick move, and they had to share the stadium.
Rams did
and stuff.
The Coliseum. Would they share the AAA field? Would they take over the AAA field? That doesn't seem right.
No, because then what do you do with that team? I mean, can they go old school Raiders, A's, and share a football field and a baseball field? I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so. The Chargers went to a soccer arena.
Yeah.
And that only held 20,000 people. So are they willing to do that somewhere, a smaller venue?
I don't know.
I'm very curious. I haven't seen anything written about that. But yeah, I mean, this is coming. I think the quote was they're directing their full attention to Southern Nevada.
Yeah. Shocking. Shocked to hear that.
Might have been already directed that way.
Seems like you guys already had some paperwork going.
This was another reason I really don't like this. It was a news dump. It came late at night, and then this is the most pointed quotes we've seen from Manfred and Caval on this situation. It's really this is happening, guys. We're done.
Over.
We're done trying to make it work in Oakland, and I don't know all the ins and outs of it, and I know there's a lot of bureaucracy, and you have to figure things out like that. But it seems to me if you wanted to have a Major League Baseball team in a city, that city is usually pretty accommodating for you.
Man, and that's, you mentioned the owner, and we've talked about it with free agents a lot. That guess what? Every GM wanted to sign Aaron Judge this offseason, but you needed the owner's sign off to give him that check for $360 to $400 million. Trev, the part that hurts me and Oakland fans, you guys are passionate, and I can't imagine what that feeling is. If I'm from Oakland and the team I root for and they're just going to move, and you've already had a couple sports teams do this to you, and look what's going on in San Diego, that, the Bay Area is booming. And, San Francisco is crazy.
I don't know if it's booming, to be honest with you.
Well, we don't have to get into the actual, tech fucking numbers.
Well, I'm just saying, people are kind of, I don't know.
But there's people out there. There's people with a lot of money out there. And there's a lot of people.
Have you moved out there?
No, it was the dream for a little bit, but San Francisco gets a little sketch.
Do you want to tell A's fans to maybe put earmuffs on real quick?
I want to tell them I'm sorry for them. This is obviously an owner decision. There's no news there. The fact that I could put together a business model that could make the A's a successful team.
Okay. Go on.
The owner wanted to go.
Oh, yeah.
And if you own the team and you want to go, you're going to go.
That's what I want.
St. Louis Rams, they went to L.A. They got this stadium that you could speak about a lot better than me, and they won a Super Bowl.
It's beautiful there. It's a little – I mean, look, obviously the A's didn't start in Oakland. I believe they were in Philly and then Kansas City.
A little history lesson here.
Oh, shit, I might have messed that up. So, they moved before. I understand that. A's fans, earmuffs here. Is this better for baseball that they go to Las Vegas?
Ooh.
Is it better for Major League Baseball? Is it, as a business decision, I'm assuming it's going to raise franchise value to go to Las Vegas. And that's kind of what these guys care about. I'm sure there's going to be auxiliary income coming from hotels that are going to be built around the stadium. There's all those ideals.
Vegas.
So as a business standpoint, I think that, it makes sense.
But I guess the problem is, Trev, the alternative of that would be Oakland can host a Major League Baseball.
It can, and I've always said that, you as a Major League Baseball owner, it's not the same as every other business because you do receive, taxpayer money to help you build your stadium, which, the stadium matters in your overall value of a team. So, you do have a requirement to, in my mind, to be one with the city. It's not like straight profit in this business. I don't believe that at all. This looks like it's just straight up money in business.
Comparing sports can be tricky sometimes, but comparing ownership, the city of Buffalo, New York, which go back in the history of sports teams, there was basketball there was some other sports teams. The Buffalo Bills, in recent years, and think about that, the Buffalo Bills are an iconic football team, and they're really good right now.
Yes.
A guy from Buffalo bought the team and said, we're keeping him in Buffalo. Because he's a proud fucking Buffalo guy. Guess what?
Good restaurant in Rochester, New York, too.
If the NFL let a guy from Austin, Texas buy that team, they might be moving to Austin, Texas. Like, that's where I feel awful for Oakland A's fans. That if an Oakland person or like a true Oakland Athletics fan had become the owner of that baseball team, I don't think they'd be leaving. So, hey, maybe there's going to be a day where they're eyeing Oakland and it's a new fertile ground. Look at the Washington Nationals, right? Like, they had a team for a while, it left, and it came back. So, but I mean, that's solace that 40 years later you might get a team. That sucks.
I don't know. I don't know if Oakland's going to see a team again, man. The Warriors left. They went to San Francisco. Raiders left. A's left. And I think we'll end with the point of this is not an Oakland A's fans problem. Like, they showed up. When the team was good, they showed up.
No. They're incredible.
This is straight up, ownership wanting to go to Vegas. That's it.
Trev, we got to get going. It's starting to get rowdy at the warehouse. Let's get to the second half of the show.
Yes.
We're probably going to talk about your team or your favorite player there, or if not, that was a good lie by me. And our standout performances are brought to you by Lightbox. Looking for some gifting help this Mother's Day season? Let Lightbox lab-grown diamonds do all the work. Lightbox makes lab-grown diamonds you'll love with pricing you'll understand.
I'm all about that life.
Pricing you'll understand is very important in this category.
Yes.
Very important in this category. They've got studs, necklaces, gems that will make her jaw drop. Whether it's mom or your spouse, take care of the ladies in your life. Skip the socks and become the MVP of Mother's Day with the gift you'll never forget. Promo code TalkinBaseball10. Name of the show in 10. What do you think that means? 10% off your purchase. There's a link in the description. Step up your game with Lightbox.
Were you a mama or a mommy guy?
Mama.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can see that.
What were you?
Soft. I don't know. I don't think I ever called my mom mommy after 4 years old. I was a man at 5.
Ma. I'm a big Ma.
I started calling her Diane.
Ma.
That's so mean if you call your mom by her name. It's like so mean. Sometimes I have to, though, because she doesn't respond. Like, Diane.
Aggressive. Yeah.
I didn't understand why my parents would get so mad at that when I was a kid, and it didn't take many more years later to realize, like, oh, yeah, that sounds...
Yeah.
That would hurt.
Standout performances.
Standout performances.
Everyone had their friend that like went through their phase of like calling their mom by their first name when they were like 12, and you're like, "Fuck, dude, like chill out."
I tried it once on my dad, and he was firm no.
I'm not in on this. Trev, who's your standout? We got some pictures.
My one thing that I hate about the show Succession,
okay,
which is a great show, great acting. I hate that they always keep saying dad. They're like these guys. They're like 40 to 50 years old, I think, in the show, and they keep dad. Yeah. I think at some point you gotta outgrow it.
They're scared of them.
At some point you gotta outgrow that, right? Anyways, standout performances.
What do you got, Trev?
Patty Wisdom, hot, can dance. Did you know he could dance?
I didn't know he could.
Yeah, he can dance. 3 for 5, 2 homers, 4 RBI, 2 runs.
Again, you read all of these. You're supposed to highlight one guy, which you have highlighted.
I keep
back-to-back and Fuego standouts. It's like this is the spot where we
running
highlight
hot right
a
now.
Dude.
I have my guy too.
I know you do.
I'm going starting pitcher, Luis Garcia, with the bounce back start. The year has not started off well for Luis Garcia, but this one in particular against a very good Jays lineup. 7 innings pitched, only 2 hits, 1 walk with 9 Ks. The headline for this one: he was mean. He put the smile away and pitched aggressively. Toronto took 50 swings in this game against him. They whiffed 23 times. That's more swings and misses than any other start in his career. His cutter was good after the game. Martín Maldonado. I love Martín Maldonado.
Yeah.
I really like Martín Maldonado. He said that's the best every pitch he's had in a while. It's reminded me of 2021 Luis Garcia. He was filthy. Getting the reaction for those hitters, you don't get it. I like the Luis Garcia is going. We took away his motion. You can't do it anymore. I think that's tough for a pitcher. I mean, you've been doing something. It gets you set. He's had to figure some things out. I'm glad. I feel like you knew he was going to get going at some point, but to do it against the Blue Jays is a big feat. So shout out Luis Garcia.
Dude, we say, having to change your windup, and we look at Luis Garcia and we laugh because he was doing a lot of funny business. I mean, a lot.
Yeah.
But also, you're right, Trev. Imagine if they came up to a hitter and they're like, "Oh, you can't use this batting stance." It's like, what? So
a lot of coaches did tell me that. Like,
yeah,
fucking change it up, bro.
Same. Luis Garcia drops it, and it's one of those things I keep going to in the back of my head that some guys' season haven't gone. Like Luis Garcia could have a fantastic year, but his first couple starts, it was like, whoa, and you start doing the
World Series hangover, man. Guess pitched a lot last year.
Is he 25, 26?
I can look it up right now. Why don't you give your stand?
Already been doing it for 3 years. Trev, I'm doing a guy that stood out to me for a couple reasons. He stands out in person because of his height.
Ooh.
He stands out on the mound because his stuff is kind of unique. Righty power changeup. It's Lucas Giolito of the White Sox. He goes 6 shutty, 7 Ks. Was he no hit?
Yeah, no hits. Yeah.
Trev, watching the highlights, I kind of had because think about it. When we used to talk about best young pitchers in baseball, it was kind of the Harvard-Westlake thing. Like, it started there, and it was like Walker Buehler. Like, these guys are now kind of men. They're 28, 29.
Walker Buehler?
Well, it's Harvard-Westlake, Walker Buehler, and then a couple other young pitchers. And it was like, this is the future of pitching in baseball. These are our next ones. Each of these guys have taken on baseball their different ways. Giolito and the White Sox, mid-Sox, tough. And Giolito got hit around a little bit at times. He came out and he looked unhittable. That changeup was dancing. It's a middle-of-the-dish fastball. It's off the plate, and it's gone, and it's a changeup, and you swung through it. And Trev, the reason why I brought it up, hey, maybe the White Sox they find that 10-game winner we've been talking about.
White Sox fans, earmuffs.
Earmuffs, White Sox fans. If they don't, Lucas Giolito's a free agent after the year. If he's thanging that thing, he would be a pretty ticket at the deadline.
It's interesting. I don't hate that because, where are the White Sox in their window? They're in
Horrified?
it, right? But they're in it, but it's not working. It's like they can't open the window or something.
They're scared?
Yeah, this team frustrates me like no other. And when you do have a situation like they're in where they're just not getting victories, that the results aren't there, and you do have an impending free agent who's, worth a lot of money.
Right.
Are you going to give him a contract? If they were going to, they probably would have already. So you can offer him the qualifying offer, or you can trade him. I think you're kind of right, man.
I don't know.
And your favorite team, talking to the fans now, they're going to be after Lucas Giolito.
If he looks like
Unless you're an Oakland A's fan. I'm sorry.
If he looks like that, he will, and they're out of contention, he will be traded because qualifying offer, the White Sox would ask for, you have to be better than at least the draft pick you would get if he leaves in free agency.
Sure.
They would get a lot more than that.
I'm curious to see what he would fetch on the open market for a rental.
I mean,
depending on how he's pitching.
His next 5 starts will dictate that. Because if he looks like that, it could be a haul. Because he has a record.
Okay.
Baseball has ebbs and flows for every player that ever plays it. If he's flowing back up, it was awesome to watch. It's very unique. That short arm, big fella, power changeup. Sorry, White Sox fans.
Yeah. I can't talk about Patty Wisdom.
Patrick Wisdom, Nimmo had a big day.
Hey, we got another thing going right here. Play that music.
Cobell.
You guys both pick guys with initials LG.
Wow, sponsorship?
On Fuego. That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
Now I can read all the names,
yes,
right?
Yes. And Patrick Wisdom's on it.
Yes! I love Patrick Wisdom, man. Wilson Contreras of the St. Louis Cardinals, 6 for 12 with 3 doubles, 2 homers, 5 ribbies, and a spat with Madison Bumgarner. J.D. Martinez, I almost gave him my standout. He went 5 for 12 in the series with a double and 2 homers and 5 RBI. Brandon Nimmo, He's a stud. He's from Wyoming?
He's a stud, man.
He's from Wyoming?
He almost got my standout. It's nuts.
8 for 14, a double, a homer. Only 2 RBI, though. Let's score some runs, Mets. Tampa Bay. Ever heard of Randy Arozarena?
I sure have.
What's his celebration? What's he do? Never seen you guys in the same room together. 7 for 14, a homer. That's a solo homer because only 1 RBI, 3 runs and stolen base. We maybe need some different in Fuego people. I don't know if 7 for 14 with no meat on the bone works for me.
I think you take a 7 for 14.
5 hundo's nice, but you drove in 1 run. It was yourself?
You take a 7 for 14. I don't think there's any doubt of that.
Okay, but then here comes the more, like the lengthier.
Yeah, they extended it a little bit.
In Fuegos for us. Marcus Semien goes 11 for 23 over a week span. A double, 3 homers, 11 ribbies, 10 runs scored. My goodness. Patrick Wisdom, our guy, over this week, 9 for 27, which is a 333 batting average. That's math. A double, a triple, 5 homers in a week. 5. Gosh, I think he fell behind Pete Alonso last night for the league lead, but that's all right. Pete's doing his thing. Rowdy Tellez, 9 for 25, 3 homer, 9 RBI. 2 weeks going. These guys are really hot, and they've been hot for quite some time. How about the closer for Baltimore, Felix Bautista? He's pitched 6 innings.
Have you seen the stats on his split change or whatever?
Tell me them.
It's unhittable.
Okay.
Like nobody else has a whiff percentage on a pitch above like 70% or something like that, and his split
terrifies
It's
me.
like 94%.
If I was in the box against him, I would just not like it.
He's scary. He's a mountain.
3 hits in those 6 innings, no earned runs. He's only walked 2 guys compared to 11 Ks. He got 3 wins also in those 2 weeks. That's nice. How about this guy in this upstart Pirates? Might be hearing more about them in a little bit. Johan Oviedo, 3 games started over the last 2 weeks. He's got 19 2/3 innings pitched, only 14 hits and only 2 earned runs, 21 Ks to 4 walks. That's a nice little stretch right there.
Yeah.
And he's a reason why the Pirates are going. And last but not least, the most underrated shortstop in baseball, Toronto's Bo Bichette. He's 20 for 53 for a 377 average, 3 doubles, 3 homers, 10 RBI. That's over a 2-week period. Bo Bichette can hit.
He sure can.
He can hit.
That's my guy. I've latched onto his bandwagon.
That's who's in Fuego.
Kind of full blown. It's a great in Fuego, Trev. I've got the weird IL segment that I hate, least favorite segment of the day. You got Corbin Burns left Monday's game, pectoral injury. Hate that. DeGrom, I mentioned his wrist. It sounds like he'll be good. Hunter Green got hit in the shin. Young Garrett Mitchell, your freshman, he goes to the IL. Shoulder injury. Don't like that. Chas McCormick from those Astros. They're starting to get the injury bug pretty for real. Good sentence. Our guy Miggy Rowe on the IL. I can't even stomach talking about that. I'll throw up into the microphone. Cal Quantrill, little foot. Your guy Mateo, he banged up his hip a little bit. And I just hate this whole segment. I almost don't want it to be a segment.
Logan O'Hoppe, the shoulder injury. That's a tough one. Are you throwing up right now?
I can't.
Kenta Maeda gets hit, has to leave a game in Boston. Jamison Tyone has a groin injury. That's no good. Michael Grove had some troubles. He leaves with a groin injury as well. That's tough.
I hate that. I'm over this segment. Trev, we've come up to possibly the best part of the show. Biebs ran out. Unreal. And I don't think we have it on this.
How do we not have it on
soundboard.
this?
I don't know how technology
Isn't
works.
she here?
She's here. But BBD's not, which is kind of an unbelievable
On 3, ready?
time.
1, 2, 3. Awards. That sucked.
BBD's coming back. We'll see.
I can't do my award without hearing that.
BBD, do you have the awards drop on that or no? No. Okay.
Is Kelsey getting on coffee right now?
Okay.
Awards.
Okay.
We already did it. That was
Okay.
even worse than ours. Okay.
Trev, give your award.
I'm going first.
And you're excited
if
about
you
this.
haven't seen Top Gun Maverick,
Spoilers.
there's going to be some spoilers here. I'm going to give the Captain Pete Mitchell Award. Okay? Captain Pete Mitchell, he's a captain. He's been serving for a long time. He shouldn't be a captain anymore. He's distinguished. He's done everything you can do for the U.S. Navy and their Top Gun program. Just anything in general. This guy's been good, but he just hasn't ranked up. In fact, Admiral Kane says, "Why aren't you a 2-star admiral? Why aren't you a senator?" And Pete Mitchell says, "I'm where I belong." It comes down to it in this movie where he gets asked to come back and coach up the new young Top Gun pilots for a mission.
Yeah.
Okay. Pirates? Are we really getting in there right now? And that's all he's supposed to do. You're going to go coach these guys up. Yeah. And then it comes down to it. Ain't no one can fly this mission except for Pete Mitchell. And there's an incredible scene. If you've seen the movie, you know. John Hamm takes over. I think what's his name? Cyclone?
Something
Call
like
sign
that.
Cyclone.
Yeah.
He takes over the mission to train these guys, and all of a sudden you hear a boop. And on the radar, there's a bogey flying the test run. And it's Captain Pete Mitchell. It's Maverick.
Everyone sits forward.
And he says, "I'm not flying this thing in 4 minutes. I'm not flying it in 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going 2:15." And everyone's like, "You can't do that.
It's impossible.
It's impossible."
No one can fly that fast.
Maverick does it.
Yeah.
And he ends up leading the squadron to the mission. And that's all I'm going to do for spoilers because Bieber has not seen this. Andrew McCutchen of the Pittsburgh Pirates is getting my Captain Pete Mitchell award. A lot of people thought he was going to the Pirates just to coach it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Just go there and show the young kids what to do. They need your guidance, your wisdom. We don't think you have much more to offer, but we think you can teach. Do you know what Andrew McCutchen said to that? "I'll give you 2 minutes and 15 seconds right now." This dude is going off. A 395 on base percentage. He's slugging 548. He's got a 943 OPS. The Pirates, what are they right now? What are the standings right now? I'm going back to find.
13-7.
They are 13-7. This guy not only came in and taught them how to win, he is performing with them. He's leading the charge for the upstart Pittsburgh Pirates. This is not something that I saw coming at all. Like, I love Kutch, and I believed in his ability. And you know what? Like, if you kind of go back and look at some of the numbers that he's had, they're not too bad.
No, he's been getting on base. He's been doing some things.
But no one expected this out of him. But here we are, him leading the way. And I just wanted to make sure we gave a rightful shout-out to what Pittsburgh's been doing. And it's not just Kutch. There's some other guys doing some things. I mentioned Oviedo in there. Sawinski.
Yeah.
Won't stop hitting fucking homers.
All he knows.
It's all he knows. There's been some good pitching besides that guy I just mentioned, Johan. Captain Pete Mitchell, Andrew McCutchen. They don't just come to coach. They still got stuff left in the tank. And that is my Top Gun Maverick Captain Pete Mitchell Award.
You know, I love the movie. I love the Pirates. I love Kutch. Kutch, again, we talked about Madbum and where he's at, and he faded off a little bit. Kutch is still going, and go look at who he was. MVP, top 5 in the MVP, 4 straight years. 200-plus stolen bases, sneaking up on 300 homers. He's a guy.
Yes.
You can chop up his stats and put him in rare air. And Trev, the other thing that I was thinking during that, and I don't know if there's a Top Gun spin, what did we see last year with our friend Albert Pujols? He went back home, and he kind of had that good juice. I don't know if there's something there.
He's where he belongs.
Flying that plane.
Captain Pete Mitchell.
Showing up at that lady's house for a late night.
Yeah, he loves that. The love interest in that movie is interesting. Penny and...
Yeah. I mean, we don't, again.
What a movie. I watched it on the plane right out here.
Go see it, ad. Trev, it's a great award. You know I love my Pirates, and they're playing ball right now. And Trev, I'll keep the movie theme going before we wrap up and start doing some ball and play. I'm going to give the Dark Knight Award.
Oh?
Yeah, the Dark Knight. Big movie, all-time movie. Your guy Jack Flaherty, obsessed with it, and the Joker in that movie. Obsessed with it.
I know someone else he's obsessed with, too.
The opening scene of The Dark Knight. Like you said, you told me earlier, Top Gun's a great movie. There's like 8 perfect acts, scenes. The Dark Knight, the opening scene's incredible. It's one of my favorite scenes in movie history. And Trev, we're kind of through the opening scene of the baseball season.
Oh.
And there's, as we highlighted some players and some big topics, couple teams that deserve love at the end because their opening scene has been great. I'm a big expectations guy. You go and see a movie and you have the highest expectations for it, and that opening scene comes out flat, you're like, oh, okay.
Got to grab your attention.
Like, what are we doing here? You can save it. You know, a big plot twist or something. You could save that movie. But if you go into a movie and say the expectations are, okay, all right, and then that opening scene happens, and you're the Texas Rangers, and you're 12-6.
Eee.
And, you know, some of our guys are bopping, and some of our guys are pitching, and we love our new manager. I'm really liking this opening scene. The Milwaukee Brewers are 14-5. We retooled a little bit. We still like a lot of our guys, and these young guys are cool, too. Ooh, we got some new characters this season, and I like them.
Are you going in a league-wide award?
It's not a league-wide. It's Texas and Milwaukee.
Well, what about Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh, you know I was on them early. I've got so much of their stock. No. That if you're Pittsburgh, you're excited.
Give your award. I feel like I interrupted.
If you're Pittsburgh, you're excited. You love the opening act. You're still not sure how the movie ends. Sure. Texas Ranger fans, who you've added a lot.
Yeah.
Milwaukee, who you believe in your front office and you retooled. They're starting to really like this movie. And yet, Trev, at the end, the season could still be a dark night the other way. Couple things go sour. Injury bug. Couple guys go down. Couple guys go in a funk. It's baseball. It's a long season. But, man, after watching kind of the opening scene, they're feeling good.
They're feeling really good. They've been scoring a lot of runs. I think they have the second best run differential in the league behind Tampa. They've been doing it. And a couple of different ways they're doing it. You know, we have the guys that are kind of just driving the ball. You have an Adolis Garcia, for instance. He's hitting 206. He's 650 OPS, but the guy's got 19 ribbies. He's coming up clutch. Then you have your marquee names. You know, I know Corey Seager's out, but he got off to a really good start. Marcus Semien doing his thing. You know, even Jonah Heim kind of, you know, answering the bell again. You can do it for a year, but what are you going to do? What have you done for us lately? He's come out. He's had a really good start to the year. Nate Lowe, great early Settlers game. He's been okay. He'll get it going. They have room to grow also. They lost to Grom. He came out of a game early, but they still won the series there against Houston.
Yep.
And then obviously, who did they sweep? The Royals?
Swept the Royals.
They're going. And like I said, I think they have room to improve. I like this team a lot. I wasn't sure how. I think my take on him before the year was, is this team going to gel? It's like a lot of pieces they brought together really quickly. And sometimes that works. Like talent will just take over. But sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes like the clubhouse doesn't feel right, or they do get off to a slow start and it changes everything. Getting off to a start like this and kind of like doing it against some good teams too, I think is important.
Won a Houston series in there.
Yeah, and you're in right now. Like you can plant your flag early in the season where it's like we're going to compete. We're going to be at least in the wild card race. And now they have aspirations for the division, which I got to be honest with you. I guarantee no Texas Ranger fan really thought they could be a division winner. Not with the Mariners and Houston. There's no chance that we said that they could do it.
I think Ranger fans could have thought.
Realistically,
I don't think we could have thought.
Realistically, no. But now, the narrative has changed. And is that a good thing or a bad thing? I think it's a good thing. I think this group of guys, like this isn't like a young roster.
No. Bruce Bochy, Madbum. This team's
Madbum's coming over. I like it a lot. I hope they continue to go because they've tried. They've fucking tried to put a good roster together.
Right.
Like,
we want to reward this.
That is something that we have to remember. Like they went out and did this quickly.
Yeah.
So I'm happy they're off to a fast start. Hopefully it continues.
Paid a lot of guys, brought in a cool baseball manager icon, make it work, new stadium.
Backyard Brad.
So many topics today. We love you guys. We have to roll. It's time to go over here. You guys are the best. We'll see you Monday. Massive
So
Monday.
hungry right now.
Such a Monday up.
Subscribe.
Don't
listen
subscribe.
this far.
Don't subscribe unless
you
you want to.
Jake sucks.
I'm on the field. I'm on the field in 10 minutes.
Don't tell them to do something.
Like, if you want to and haven't yet, you should.
Oh, yeah, you probably should.
We're knocking on some doors.
Not a great-looking team, the Texas Rangers. I'm kind of looking at them right now. Not great.
They've got an edge. They're funny.